.com. I'm here with former Shocker Shane Dennis, who will be doing some games for ESPN3 during the Missouri Valley Conference Baseball Tournament. Let's start with Wichita State. They play Illinois State tomorrow in the 7:30 p.m. game. What do we think it's going to take for Wichita State to, I won't even talk about winning this tournament, but make some damage and make a good run in this thing?
I've thought for a couple of weeks now, I think they'll go as far as their bats will take them. The depth in the pitching staff just isn't there. That's not to say that somebody can't step up, but I think for them to make a deep run in this tournament, they're going to have to get a lot of at-bats with Tinkham and Hilliard with guys on base. Those guys obviously have been doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but the bats, I think, will dictate how far they go in this tournament and maybe beyond that.
Yeah, it's been talked about a lot. They really had to rebuild that starting rotation. Tell us a little bit about what's that process like when you lose two guys and then you have to get other guys' pitch counts up. How tough is that Wichita State had to do this season?
That obviously is a big thing, and it's not necessarily, even though in the bottom line it's the next man up kind of thing, but those are not roles that are easily replaceable. When you got Tavis and Schwanke going down, you're asking everyone else not only to elevate the pitch count, like you said, but elevate their game. And the spotlight's a little brighter for those guys, too. And I'm sure that that took a lot of them by surprise, some of the guys with the roles that had to expand. But, you know, the biggest thing with that is when you go from the bullpen to the starting rotation, like you said, it takes some time. And college baseball, while it's 56 games, that's not a lot of time to develop somebody that used to be a reliever. So I can understand the angst from the coaching staff in trying to recover from those injuries on the pitching staff. Definitely.
You mentioned Gunnar Troutwine, a freshman catcher. He was one of several Shockers on the All-Valley team, and he's kind of emerged here over the last month or two. He's now hitting cleanup most of the time. What are you seeing from him as an offensive threat?
I think he's a big, strong guy who's got some occasional power that will only get better as he gets older. To me, the biggest adjustment in college baseball would be for a catcher coming out of high school being asked to handle the staff, and he has been. I think he'll be more than a good offensive player down the line, but what impresses me the most is how he's taken ownership of this pitching staff, and you can tell it matters to him. And just as a freshman, to catch and handle the staff and then hit right in the middle of the lineup, that's a lot to ask from a kid that's only 18 or 19 years old. But he's certainly made some strides, and they threw him right into the fire after about 3 weeks into the season or so. And I think as much as he has progressed offensively, and he has, handling the staff and taking ownership of that staff is impressive too.
And he homered twice off Jacob Hendren, who the Shockers will face tomorrow. Tournament overall, Missouri State had a really almost a dominant run through the Valley schedule, 18-3. Are they the favorite?
I think they are. They have built their team in such a way where if they get normal outings from John Harris and Matt Hall, it's almost lights out for the opposition, because you get into the winner's bracket with those two guys, and almost every time they pitch 7 innings. So not only are they doing their job, they're saving the bullpen for other games down the line should it be necessary. I think they have a really good mix of young and old, and those two starting pitchers are a great place to start. Dallas Baptist, on the other hand, probably shouldn't be totally dismissed offhand because of their great RPI, and they are likely to get an NCAA host. But I'm not real crazy about their first-round matchup. They have to deal with Jeff Degano from Indiana State, who beat them the first time, if I recall correctly. He's an excellent and often overlooked left-hand pitcher for Indiana State. So be careful if you're Dallas Baptist to that first-round game.
Yeah, I think this is one of the better fields in the Valley Tournament since I've been covering Wichita State. You got Missouri State and Dallas Baptist may end up hosting. You got Bradley with a 22 RPI that needs to get some wins to make it a large candidate. And then you got Wichita State that's playing really well here recently. All right, the Valley Tournament gets started on Wednesday, 9 a.m. Wichita State plays Illinois State at 7:30 on Wednesday. This is Paul Suellentrop for the Wichita Eagle and Kansas.com. Thanks to Shane Dennis for pitching in and Tammy Cutler for doing some camera work. Thanks.